One of the most surprising things that happened after Donald Trump won the 2024 election was how quickly the Democrats moderated their tone. Before the election, Donald Trump, of course, was a racist, Nazi, fascist, right? The worst person in the world. But after the election, it's only been the far left progressive extremists that have basically stuck to that line of attack. Whereas the regular Democrats have seen the writing on the wall because the American people are fed up with all of this stuff. We're not buying into their garbage anymore. And of course, a result of that over here on CNN is, yes, they are losing business, losing viewers, and of course, hemorrhaging money. And all of this is the result of them not being honest with the American people. And of course, their leftist audience not buying into the fact anymore that, hey, we have been lied to for all of these years, right? So what we're going to see today, of course, is some of those hardliners out there really upset at the fact that, oh, now the Democrats, now the left are trying to normalize Donald Trump. But before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and share on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
And it also, I think in some ways, it reveals some of the Democrats' posturing as performative. You know, when you're creating apocalyptic messaging about a fascist,
literally
coming over and doing these things, and then when he wins, sitting down with watercress sandwiches and cream cheese and doing the whole 9 yards, it makes you wonder, well, did you believe any of the shit you were saying before?
Exactly.
Or was that something, again, that was just a part of your messaging?
Yeah, no, it's really true. And I think something that what makes this go around with Trump so much more dangerous than the first time around is exactly what you're saying. It's that he is much more normalized this time around than he was the first time. The first time, people were really on edge. They were on guard. They were very vigilant about any break that he would have with these norms. This time, the norms are becoming him. Like the norms are embracing him. Even these like little things that people may not, like everyday working people may not care about, but they are strong cultural signals. Oscar de la Renta, like dressing all of the women, like there's all these cultural symbols, right?
I see, participating now in this when they wouldn't have participated in the past.
Exactly,
I see
exactly. So like all of these people that were scared before about like being associated with him from the most common basic level to the most elite level, they're all like they're all in now, because this is now a billionaire feeding frenzy. It is a kiss ass race,
man.
It is, how can I show how much fealty I have to Donald Trump in order to get my digs. And I think what's really important for people to understand, and like now and every day of this administration, is that you're being ripped off. You're being ripped off, dude. Like everyone is being ripped off. And he goes up there and he says what he wants to say, but he's just the quintessential New York con man.
So listen to what she's saying. All the way back in 2016 and 2020, there was a definite stigma for being a Donald Trump supporter, all right? Remember the basket of deplorables and people proudly coming out saying, I am a deplorable, right? I support Donald Trump. But the reason people are willing now to come out in open support of Donald Trump is they remember his first presidency, and they remember that he was not a Nazi, fascist, racist, etc., all of that stuff, right? So the media has been, in fact, lying to you for all of these years. And Jon Stewart points out that, yes, this was all performative. They never believed it. It was pure politics. They were willing to spread lies, to go ahead and slander the man, to go out on TV and say, hey, it's the end of democracy if Donald Trump wins. And then as soon as he does, what happens? They're hanging out at all of the same parties. They're waiting to shake his hand and offer him all kind of endorsements, specifically all those tech billionaires. Okay. But yes, it was all a lie. And the American people have caught on to it because we lived through Donald Trump's first term. We lived through Joe Biden's first term, and we can easily compare the two, something I've been saying now for years, all right? But AOC, it's not enough, right? You can't have people come out and normalize this guy, normalize this radical who only wants to restore free speech and make America great again and lower your taxes and lower inflation, right? These are all things that must be stopped, okay? But it's not just AOC and Jon Stewart recognizing the hypocrisy here on the left. It's also Charlamagne the God.
And don't get me wrong, you should be angry at people suddenly making nice with Donald Trump, but instead of Snoop and Nelly, what about the Democratic politicians who spent 4 years calling Trump the new Adolf Hitler and then started doing stuff like this?
President Biden, welcoming his successor to the White House, observed all the traditional niceties.
Joe Biden greeting Donald Trump at the White House with 2 words: welcome home.
There were smiles, there were handshakes. I mean, there was a real respect between the two.
This moment between former President Barack Obama and President-elect Donald Trump has gone viral.
They chuckled like old buddies. Trump even made Obama laugh.
I'm sorry, if you tell us someone is Hitler, you at least have to act like he's Hitler. I know when Barack got home, Michelle was like, he hell. So Hitler got jokes, huh? So what am I saying here? Democrats shouldn't have shown up to the inauguration? Yes, bitch, that's exactly what I'm saying. And maybe you're thinking, what's wrong with being civil to your opposition? That's just political norms. Politics haven't been normal since Trump came down that ugly-ass escalator. And 8 years later, it seems like Republicans are the only ones who realize that. Think about this for a second. Trump lied for years about the 2020 election being stolen, and he gained supporters by living his life as if that lie was true. Meanwhile, the Democrats told the truth about Trump being a threat to democracy, but now that the election's over, they're living like it isn't true. In fact, they're saying they can get along with him.
We could work together.
I will work with anybody who wants to be a good partner. I'm not the leader of the resistance.
I will never back away from partnering with the Trump administration where our priorities align.
I don't want to pretend we're always going to agree, but I will always seek collaboration first.
Collaboration? Really? Like, you called him Hitler, but now you're saying that Hitler has some good ideas? That's the same thing Kanye said, and we don't even let him make sneakers anymore. What are you even going to collaborate on? Are you going to make sure the immigrant concentration camps run on solar power? Like...
So for a little while there, I was actually hopeful that Charlamagne, God, would back off of his leftist tendencies and maybe give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt, especially after being lied to by his own party for years. But no, he's jumping right back in with both feet, right? You called Donald Trump Hitler, and now you're not treating him like Hitler. Please keep treating him like Hitler. That's what he wants. He doesn't think that any of the Democrats should have shown up to the inauguration after all, right? This is complete insanity. But what it all boils down to is basically the far left still buys into the lies they were fed by CNN, by MSNBC, by ABC, by CBS, right? They believe all of it. And now that the Democrats are being revealed for the hypocrites they actually are, and of course the liars, the political games they were playing, now they're upset because they're still not acting like all of their rhetoric was forcing them to. But as I mentioned, it's the far left that is still completely out there.
One of the things that I have been seeing over and over again on social media already, Mr. Chair, is literally militarization of Border Patrol, officials everywhere, just people scared and petrified because that's what's exactly happening, because this promotes racial profiling. The bill blatantly violates due process. I mean, these are literally being allegations and charges, not actual convictions. Y'all act like if somebody's undocumented, they can't be deported. They can. As a former immigration attorney, I know that for a fact. You're making this up so you can literally allow people to be profiled and discriminated against. Blame them for the cost of eggs? Is that what we're doing here? We're blaming them because you guys can't get corporate greed on a side that is a disease that is killing our economy? People can't afford housing? You think it's because of our immigrant neighbors? No. If you cared truly about fixing our immigration system, you'd go fix it so that U.S. citizens married to undocumented spouses can actually adjust their status, where we have mixed statuses because for 30 years we've ignored and vilified immigrants. Enough is enough. It will separate families. It would lead again to continued discrimination. It's shameful that my colleagues are giving into racist fear-mongering at the first opportunity to pass legislation to scapegoat our immigrant neighbors and fuel hate in our communities. I know what's going to happen. It won't just be undocumented. It'll be people like my mother who will get stopped and profiled. She have to carry her U.S. passport around? Are we asking people allowed to have documentation?
So here's the esteemed member of the squad, Rashida Tlaib, and what she's very upset about, the Laken-Riley Act, right? The simple act that says if you're an illegal immigrant with a criminal record, we're not going to allow you into the country. And if you commit a crime while you're here, of course, we are going to deport you, all right? We want to have this in no uncertain terms on the books as law, because apparently if you have a president like Joe Biden, we need a law like this on the books, because he's not going to deport not only illegal immigrants, but criminal illegal immigrants as well. So something we should all be able to get on board with, right? Getting rid of criminal illegal immigrants. Even the far left is against that, right? And notice she doesn't use the word criminal. She doesn't use the word illegal immigrant. She refers to all of them as migrants. People like her mother. She has to walk around with her documentation. Well, if she was a U.S. citizen and had an appropriate driver's license that hopefully would say her status on it, she wouldn't need her papers. But guess what? The rest of us, we all have that right in our pockets. So the left is completely unhinged, completely unglued about the simple fact that Donald Trump is the mainstream. And that is why he's being accepted by the American people. And yes, even by the folks on the left, right? Except for the extreme faction, as I've been saying. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.